Hello gamers, welcome back to Idiosin's Let's Play of Assassin's Creed Origins, parte 133, part 133. Today was the last day of the fucking quarter. I have to get up early. Of all time. Oh my god. Feels so good. Next quarter I have classes where I don't have to get up until like quadruple digits, if you know what I mean, like 10 o'clock or later. So I feel amazing, man.
Child hiding. And there's that colorful sail. Bandits are out searching for the child.
I was about to share a very embarrassing truth, but I realized that there's a possibility the person involved would find out, so I'm not gonna do that. Let's go kill some bandits, man. Let's do it. I've been like playing this game a lot lately, trying to get that platinum. And there are some interesting things when you're doing the trophy, an old habit, which requires you to complete all the locations. Not the individual locations themselves, like these ones. I mean, these are boring. But you occasionally find these stone mechanisms, which play these anachronistic, like, video sequences where like the Animus gods or whoever the fuck they are like tell you about the modern timeline and everything. So I'm actually kind of interested. Like, it's a little vague, but I am intrigued since I am getting the platinum to find out what the full story is. So hopefully it won't be totally suck. It's talking about how when Desmond saved the world, you know, time is hard to permanently influence, and it's still trying to end the world, and so more needs to be done on a constant basis to keep the world alive, and it's kind of cool. I mean, I really wish that Layla Hassan had more story, more exposition to her, other than, you know, obsessed, you know, rebel op working on her own animus. And that's literally it. I mean, like, they don't go any further with her. Not Desmond, Warren Vidick's son, I believe, finds her, and it turns out he's an assassin. Or maybe it's Desmond's relative, I don't remember. But an assassin, a modern day assassin, approaches Layla and says, you know, we need to get out of here, some shit. And she acts like she doesn't really trust him. And then she says there's only one thing left to do, just get back in the Animus. And because she probably ran out of that, like, kidney medicine, I'm assuming that what they imply is that at some point beyond the page of this game's story, open-ended story, she just dies in the Animus.
Where is Kawit?
So when I stop playing, I can basically presume Layla's dead.
Some rich lady named Gaia owns it. It's by the temple of Hathor. Will you save my family?
By the Mother Goddess, I will.
So I want to just mention, this morning, there was a terrorist attack on New York in the subways, I believe. It's the morning of December 11th. And I have to say that I am really, really proud of the NYPD because the situation was contained and there were no fatalities. Not even the killer, he's actually in custody. The would-be killer, that is. So, good on them. It's really, really nice to see one of these things turn out, you know, like, smoothly. Like, you know, nothing permanent happened, and, I hope we get a turn towards that, because there have been too many attacks like this in the past few years, and it's really bad. Like, it's just, it really bothers me on a regular basis. A lot of people, I think, nowadays, they hear about this stuff and they kind of tune out because it's hard to process this all the time, that these things are just happening constantly, these attacks. But, like, I've always remained vulnerable, I guess, to these stories. Like, I always read them and I always take them in, and I don't know. It's made the world sort of a dark place for me. That, you know, anywhere you go, anyone that you see could be someone who wants to take your life and the life of many others for an irrational belief. And, yeah. It just sucks. I wanted to kind of round that out with some levity, but, I mean, there's no jokes to be made here. It really is just a shitty situation. Anyway, moving on, I'm gathering some hard leathers from these crocodiles. A useful tip to know is if you poison an animal, it kind of gets stunned for a few seconds, which gives you time to go up and attack it a few times. It's a little bit more effective than sleeping the animal, in my opinion, because when you sleep them, it allows you to approach, but as soon as you hit them, they wake up. As long as they are undergoing those first few poison ticks, they're, like, really stunned. Like, they can't do anything. And anyway, I'm just collecting the hard leather because I want to upgrade the hidden blade. So yeah, as you can see, he kind of dumbs out there for a few seconds, which gave me enough time. Also, when you're fighting the crocodiles, always stay on their sides, because if you're on their rear, they can tail swipe you, and if you're on their front, they can bite you, and both attacks do stun you. But if you're on their sides, they can't really hit you until they've repositioned themselves. So that's the best way to approach them, for when you're doing crocodile hunts like me. Thank God I don't have to get hard leathers anymore. I have plenty now. I'm almost legendary in all my equipment. Because now, when I have to get soft leathers, all I have to do is hunt ibex and shit in the mountains, which they're one-hit kills, and they're not aggressive animals. They're passive. But yeah, hard leathers, best way I think is to hunt crocodiles. I think hippos drop them as well. Pelts, you go after, I think, lions and hyenas. Soft leathers, you can go after the ibex, that's the easiest way. And then for cedar wood and iron and bronze, you need to attack caravans, generally. Since those are manufactured products. Well, not manufactured, but they're man-harvested. I don't know how to explain that. You get it. You can get an ability which allows you to buy small sums of materials from shops, but it exhausts those shops for a while. And they only sell like 3 to 5 of each at a time. So you have to go shop to shop. It's a little too tedious. I think hunting is easier.
Sometimes I wonder why I left home.
The materials are cheap though.
Think of me now.
That's kind of sad. You get little dialogues like that. Soldiers saying that they regret what they're doing. And you know you're gonna kill them anyway. Well, at least if they get in your way. I don't know why I was looking past the stairwell. That's kind of one realistic thing that is actually kind of nice about this game. The guards don't have a static field of view when they're moving around. They will like shift their head from side to side and look around and stuff like that. So if you happen to be in the actual line of sight of their head, that's what matters, not so much being in front of them. So it requires you to be a little bit more careful when you're sneaking around. Like if you're sneaking up to a guard or past a guard, you have to pay attention to how his head is swiveling. Trying out a little sleep dart action, but I don't really see a whole lot of use for it. Like, if you want to go for a non-lethal run, I suppose sleep darts are cool. That would be kind of interesting to see a non-lethal run of this game, aside from the actual targets. But this isn't Dishonored. The game doesn't really support that kind of a run-through. The game really wants you to just get into these really spammy combat situations. One trophy that I'm finding really annoying to achieve for the platinum is the one that requires you to kill 3 guards with 1 hit, I think. I have no idea how I'm going to accomplish that. Like, I'll probably use a fan axe like the shark fin.
Gaia kept up quite an exchange of letters. I could
But
learn more about her from reading these.
it's not exactly easy to line that up. Thinking if it's enemies as just the word enemies probably allows you to do it to animals. So maybe, you know, engage a pack of hyenas that are really low level. Because the over-design trophy, which requires you to kill a level 35 plus enemy with the torch while it's poisoned in under 30 seconds, that I was able to do that to an animal. So yeah, going after this slaver bitch who's responsible for the kiddos locked up in the previous episode. And it's all copacetic, and, you know, it's just the game as you've seen it so far. It's just a lot of killing. Dullest Let's Play ever. Let's keep going. See you next time.